Hi, it's Nicola here, back for the second session of Money Mastery Fest, a series of live trainings that are designed to help you create more abundance in your life, to actually kind of tune into and embed your own kind of innate ability to create abundance and also to make the income that you desire and deserve. So I hope you enjoyed the first session this morning, and if you haven't seen it already, you will be able to hop back and watch the recording. It's here on this page. And it was all about 5 simple ways to stay in the flow of abundance more consistently so you can attract more of it. So go take a look at that, and it really complements what I'm going to be talking about right now, which is how to release fear around money and not having enough. Okay, so this was, again, all of these sessions actually are based on questions that have been asked of me over in my Facebook group, Unbound Living with Nicola Humber. And if you're not a member, do come over and join us. We'd love to have you there. But a couple of weeks ago, I asked what were people's burning questions about money. And one of them was that it's very easy to slip into this place of fear around money, and it kind of seems to happen regularly that you can be doing okay, particularly if you run your own business. And when we run our own businesses, there isn't kind of this regular salary coming in or a certain amount coming in at the end of every month. We kind of start from scratch at the beginning of each month. So it can seem easy to slip into this place of fear. So I wanted to share with you how I see this and some ways that you can release fear around money, and particularly this fear of not having enough. So first of all, I just want to share some kind of simple tools that you can use to kind of get you out of fear. Sorry, I've got an itchy ear. And if you are with me live, do say hello. Comment below and say hello, because it'd be great to say hello to you. So what I do, if I find myself in a place of fear, boom, she's back. Hi, Eloise. Yeah, good to see you, and thanks for prompting me to have a dance before I came on and did this. It always puts me in a good state to be able to share what I want to share. So thanks for that. So what I do, if I find myself in a place of fear, hi Ruth, thanks so much for joining me live. I really appreciate it. Because even though I do all of this work, and I have done all of this work around money mindset and, my mindset in general, sometimes still I can find myself in a place of fear. But I've got some, I've got it kind of down how to move out of it now. So the first thing I always do is I take out my journal and I write about it. I just write down everything that's coming up for me. And again, this is with no judgment. I was talking about this earlier. It's not about kind of judging how I'm feeling. It's not about censoring what's coming up for me. It's getting it all out of my head and down onto paper. And actually, when we're talking about fear, yeah, it's head-based, and we're going to be talking a bit more about that. It's kind of stuff that's playing over in your mind, but it can feel like a real physical experience as well. Very often we experience that fear physically in our body. So I'm going to talk about something you can do to help shift that as well. But like I said, the first thing I will do is journal, just get it all down on paper. And that's powerful in itself. And, what I'm talking about here, and I guess all of the work that I do around money and money mastery and creating more abundance in your life, is based on always putting yourself in the most powerful position, kind of reconnecting yourself with your own power. And actually, when we take some time to journal, what it does, it kind of gets us out of that place of fear and just ruminating and going over it, and it kind of, like I said, it gets it out down onto paper where we can see it, and gets us back into that position of power. So that what you will find, and what I pretty much always find, is once I start writing about it, although I might start by acknowledging about what's coming up for me and my fears and doubts, very naturally that turns into a process of like, okay, well, what can I do about this? You know, what can I do to shift myself into a place that feels more abundant? What can I do to release this fear? So that will happen quite naturally, usually, as you're journaling. Okay, so that's the first thing I want to recommend. The second thing that I want to recommend is very much about that kind of physical experience of fear. Now, I don't know if about you, but I generally tend to feel my fear in my stomach. My tummy is a place where I will feel fear as kind of feel fear as this kind of constricted feeling. But you will know, just if you're feeling fearful about money and not having enough, just notice what's going on for you physically. And something I recommend, a really simple tool that I recommend to all of my clients and everyone in my community, is to use EFT tapping to kind of clear and release any fear that's coming up. Okay, so it's a very simple tool. I'm not going to go through the process now because there's lots of resources out there. You may have used tapping before, and if you haven't, you can have a look over on my YouTube channel, which is just Nicola Humber. There's lots of free tapping videos over there. You can learn how to use this tool. Like I said, it's very simple. It's kind of deceptively simple. But what it helps you to do is really tune into your body and notice what's going on and release any fear that's coming up, so that you put yourself back in the most resourceful and powerful state so that you can move forwards. Okay, so that's the second thing. So, you know, and these are all based on things that I do personally. So 1, I will always journal. 2, I will always tap. Not tap dance, but I might dance as well. But no, EFT tapping, emotional freedom technique. So do that. But the third thing, and, you know, this is really what I wanted to talk about, sorry, I'm getting distracted by the hearts and the smiles, so thank you. The third thing that I really want to talk about during this session is to look at the underlying belief that is creating this fear, because fear tends to arise because of a particular story that we're telling ourselves, and we might not be particularly aware of that kind of underlying belief or the story that we're telling ourselves or the old script that's running that's creating that fear, but it will always be there. Okay, so you're only scared if you're telling yourself that there's something to be scared of. And what I've found is that with money, it's something that can trigger a lot of fear and stress and anxiety in us, because very often we've been brought up with these kind of hearing or experiencing this unhelpful stuff around money and what it means to us. So you may have been brought up to kind of believe or to see that money creates stress in some way, or money creates anxiety, or that there's never enough, or you know, there's never enough money left at the end of the month, or this kind of thing, or that money isn't for people like you, or that if you have money, people won't like you, people will criticize you. There's all of this stuff that can be going on underneath the surface when it comes to money. It's something that can really trigger us, and it can really trigger off this fear response. So, you know, like I said, very often this is happening out of our awareness, but something will happen and it kind of takes us back into that old belief, that old story that we have learned about money. And, you know, these are very often generally formed when we're growing up, when we're very young. They may come from things that people have said to us, our parents, caregivers, teachers. They may have said to us directly, or you may have just seen things happening when you were growing up that made you make this decision that, okay, money is scary, or money is stressful, or, you know, money will make people angry with me, that kind of thing. Ruth, you're saying you have to go and pick up the children. I'll continue watching once I'm home. That's absolutely fine. And Eloise, thank you so much for sharing the video. Oh, really appreciate that. Okay, so what can you do to kind of shift these fears, these beliefs that are creating fear? Okay, the first step, I can't get my words out today, honestly. I get too excited on these lives and I just want to kind of get it all out there as quickly as possible. I need to just take a breath. Okay, the first step to shifting these unhelpful, these fear-based beliefs is to identify these stories that you've been telling yourself. So just check in with yourself, and it may come up when you're journaling, but if you notice fear coming up for you around money, just ask yourself the question, what have I been telling myself to create this fear? What is the belief that is making me feel scared about money? Or what is the belief that's making me think there's not enough or there can't be enough for me? And just journal on that, just write down whatever comes to mind. Okay. And you know, you may very well be aware of some of these kind of limiting fear-based beliefs that you have around money. Or you can just set your intention to notice the kind of things you think or say about money as you go through your life. That's something that I recommend. But just start bringing them into your awareness, because the more expansive beliefs that you have around money, the less fear you're going to experience, or you'll be able to clear fear more quickly. Hi, Helen. Oh, lovely that you're here with me live. Great to see you. Okay, so you want to identify any limiting beliefs that are going on, any fear-based beliefs. Secondly, you want to challenge those old fear-based beliefs. Okay, and what I mean by that is, as the wonderful human beings that we are, we tend to only notice the evidence that backs up what we already believe to be true. Thank you for the hearts, really appreciate that. So if you have a belief that there's never enough money to go round, I can never have enough, then you will notice all of the evidence that supports that. So you will think back to all the times when you never had enough money, or you will notice the ways you don't have enough right now. You will be very focused on that. You'll be really blinkered on that. And again, you know, this isn't always happening consciously. In fact, very often it's happening out of our awareness. So when you start bringing this stuff into your awareness, it's all about putting yourself back in that position of power and being able to kind of change these old stories, these old beliefs for you. So rather than kind of just unconsciously noticing all the evidence that backs up these old limiting beliefs, what I want you to do is actively seek out evidence that challenges your old limiting beliefs. So say you've got this belief that there's never enough, or I can never make enough. Look for ways you do have enough in your life already. Look for other people who have more than enough around you. You know, actively and consciously seek out evidence that challenges your old belief, because when you do that, it starts to shift, it starts to chip away at it so that it can dissolve and you can create a new, more empowering belief. Okay, so challenge your fear-based beliefs. And then step 3 is to actively and consciously choose a new, more resourceful, more abundant belief for yourself. Okay, so you can do this. Beliefs are just thoughts that we think over and over again. You know, and we just kind of, a lot of the time, like I said, they're not even in our awareness. We're not even aware of them. It just feels like, well, this is how it is. This is the way it's always been, and this is the way it will always be. I will always be in this position, or I will always have this way of thinking and looking at things. And what we're looking for here is a real shift in perception. And you can do that by doing this belief work. You can move from a place of fear into a place of abundance just by changing the story that you are telling yourself. Okay, so think about, what would be a belief? What would be kind of a statement, a story that I could tell myself that would help me to feel in a place of abundance, which would help me to feel safer, I guess. Very often these fear-based beliefs are coming from a place of not feeling safe. So, you know, this will be individual for you, but say we were working with that old belief that there's never enough, or I can never make enough. Maybe you could choose to start telling yourself the new story that there is more than enough for me. or it's easy for me to create more in my life. And whether it's money or, you know, it could be money or love or health. We're talking specifically about money here, but, you know, you can apply these same steps, these same tips to any area of your life. Okay, so like I said, this will be very individual, and it's important that the wording really resonates with you and that it feels compelling for you. So, you know, that's the steps that you need to go through. 1, identify your old fear-based beliefs. 2, challenge those beliefs. And it may not feel very natural or very comfortable to actually challenge those beliefs, because they're stories you've been telling yourself for a long time. But when you start to do this, it's really, really powerful. So allow yourself to challenge those old beliefs. And 3, consciously choose some new beliefs for yourself. And you can work through them one by one. Eloise, and just seeing what you're saying. It's like looking in a mirror with this. The exact same thing I teach, but on self-worth and acceptance, but applied to money. Feels so silly for not realising I could apply it to money, and now thanks to the epiphany. Yeah, you know, I used to do a lot of work, Eloise, to help women in terms of kind of being healthier. And when I first started my hypnotherapy practice, I very much focused, or had a lot of women coming to me with who wanted help to lose weight and become a certain weight. And actually it was exactly the same kind of work that I'm doing now, but I just apply it to money now, because actually I work with so many women who run their own businesses, and this fear and these limiting beliefs can really get in the way of us creating the income that we really want to make and that we deserve to make in the world. So yeah, I mean, this belief work is so key, and like I said, you can apply it to any area of your life. So I'm glad that it gave you a little light bulb moment there. That's what I always aim to do. So that's a process for you to go through, which will help you to move out of fear and that idea that you don't have enough into a place of abundance. So it very much ties in with what I was talking about earlier. So like I said, if you haven't watched that video, do go check it out. And all of these tips that I'm sharing during Money Mastery Fest come from my brand new book, which is out today, Tuesday 21st of March. It's called Money Mastery, a guide to creating financial flow and being your most abundant self. It's available to download on Kindle right now. And as a special launch offer, it's available for just 99p, or whatever the equivalent is if you're not in the UK. It's available globally, so you'll be able to go and download it for 99p, 99 cents, whatever it is, for the first 48 hours. So today, Tuesday 21st of March, and tomorrow, Wednesday 22nd, it is available for just 99p. So go over to Amazon, grab yourself a copy. Like I said, it's got all of the much more around what I've been sharing today. Lots of tips around kind of money mindset, how to perfect your money mindset, and also some practical strategies in there. And all of those things are going to help you to move out of fear and into abundance. You know, it's all designed to help you to think in a more expansive and open way so that you can attract more money and more abundance into your life. So go take a look, Money Mastery, over on Amazon. Grab yourself a copy for 99p. Eloise, I have the book. Thank you. Go get it, folks. Yes, absolutely. So I hope you enjoyed that trading session. I will be back at 8 p.m. today, UK time. What am I talking about at 8 p.m? I'm going to be sharing some playful and pleasurable money practices, which will help you to thrive financially. So join me at 8 p.m. for that. If you've got any questions, if you're watching the recording of this and you have any questions or comments, do post them below this video and I will come back and answer them for you. Fantastic. Have a great rest of your afternoon and I will see you later. Bye.